Hello, welcome back to Anarchy in the Ukulele. Katie here again with a review, and today we have this Mr Mai Chinese brand. It is a model. It's an ML-T, T for tenor. And this one, so normally we make a thing where we say that we have bought all of our ukuleles for review. This one we didn't buy. This one we were contacted by Mr Mai. Not Mr Mai himself, as far as I know. Alan, actually. Alan from Mr Mai contacted us and said, would you like to do a review of this instrument? We will send you one for review. So we said yes, of course we would. Always do a review. However, we make no promises that the review will be favourable. We take no money for doing this review. It's a completely impartial review, so I'm going to tell you exactly what I think of this instrument. They haven't seen the review before it's gone out on YouTube, so it's going out now on YouTube as you're watching it. They'll be seeing it at the same time. And that will always be the case with our reviews. So if we get asked to do them, then yeah, we're more than happy to do them, because it costs quite a lot when we keep buying all our own ukuleles. But they are completely impartial reviews. So, let's tell you a little bit about this ukulele. One, it looks a bit different, doesn't it? Everybody, I've seen other reviews, everybody talks about the looks, the face. It definitely looks like a face I really kind of want to draw a little nose on. You've got a nice smiley mouth. It's quite a happy face. Or a kind of a children's ghost a children's ghost drawing. It looks a little bit like that as well. I think it's quite a nice looking instrument. I think it's a bit different, isn't it? I think it polarises people a little bit, and I can understand that. I quite like it, because I like it when things are a little bit different. I like it... I'm a cross between, I like really traditional looking instruments, quality traditional instruments, and things where there's been a bit of innovation and a bit of, someone going, oh, do you know what, let's try something a bit different. And this smacks of that. So, obviously, we've got the extra sound hole here. So we've got a small sound hole there, slightly bigger one there, but we also have the sound hole in the side here. And the side sound hole, it's in a bit of an interesting place. It's slightly strange, because normally, if you have a sound hole in the side, a side sound hole, that's quite hard to say. Normally, it would be up here. And it's a bit low down, but it's not where your arm doesn't cover it or anything like that. It's just that the sound's kind of pointing out this way somewhere. What I think that's actually doing, I kind of think it's actually quite clever. Because when the sound's coming out of here and it's directly in your face and close to your ears, it's almost a bit too powerful out of that sound hole, and you don't get the full sound of the instrument. When it's down here, it's kind of, you've got sound coming out of here, you've got sound coming down here. It gives quite a rounded sound. So whether that's intentionally why the sound hole's down here or not, I don't know. But I think it's a very clever move, and something that other manufacturers should perhaps look at. Just, you're getting more of a body of the sound, rather than just being hit and smacked in the face by this sound hole up here. So that I quite like. Let's go through some specs of this instrument. So, Mr Mai ML-T. It is a solid acacia top. Obviously sort of koa looking, because it is acacia, which is a form of koa. However, it's acacia, it's not koa. It's solid. So it's a solid top. One thing that impressed me with this, so solid top, laminate sides and back. Two pieces on the back there. The thing that impresses me, because we talk about woods and specs all day long, is the top of this instrument. How drum-like it is. I don't know if these microphones are picking that up, because the thud of me tapping might be a little bit too much. You can hear the chords. You can probably hear me breathing more than you can hear the chords, to be honest. I'm quite impressed with that. It's really resonant, and I'm presuming that's to do with the sound holes, but also, and this is quite nice on this instrument, is you can obviously, because of this sound hole at the side here, you can really see inside the instrument. I'm going to try. I haven't got Bongo Boy here today. I think it's too dark to see in there, so you might just have to take my word for it. But because you can see in there, you can see the bracing really, really well. You can see exactly how the instrument's made. What you can also see is how well it's made. There's no glue splashed around everywhere or running down the sides. It's got notched bracing around the sides. There's two braces on the top here, two kind of angled braces coming down here. And then you've got some cross braces coming across either side of the sound holes. Which I guess is understandable because, you know, you've cut quite a chunk of wood out of there, so it needs bracing across there. There's just the two braces on there, and then you've got two braces across the back. Kind of similar to these two up here, but on the back they're lower down. Which you can really tell, the back, it's not as resonant, it's a little bit more solid sounding than the top. Which is just so ringy that I'm really impressed with that. So yeah, it's a tie bridge. It's in ebony, which is nice. You've got a bone, saddle, and nut. The neck is made of akume. It's nice. The neck. I think it's nicely matched with the colour of the instrument. And I think earlier models of these, I saw a review that said it was like a little bit yellowy. I don't think this one is at all. So. Saying that, on camera it does look a little bit yellowy. I think it's just the angle. If you look at it in that angle, it's not at all. I think it's matched really well to the back. So I think that's nice, and that's maybe a change. 3 joints in the neck, they're well hidden. The neck's nice. It's satin finish to this, so it feels really nice. It comes down to quite a narrow feeling neck, which is nice. Very, very easy to hold. So compensated bone saddle, spacing of the saddle is 41mm, finish is satin, neck akume, I've said, fingerboard is ebony. And I think the fingerboard is okay. It's in pretty good condition. It looks a little bit dry. It could do with a bit of oil on there, but I think if you did oil that up, it would actually look beautiful. It's pretty good looking condition, that is. I say a little bit dry, but a bit of oil on there would do it the world of good. There's 18 threats, 14 to the body. The nut width, so bone nut it's 37mm bone nut, which is nice. It's, you know, sort of 37, 38 is a nice, comfortable feel. So I think all the specs of this, they're in the right direction for what you're looking for a tenor. Certainly what I'm looking for a tenor. Tuners, they are unbranded, these gold and black tuners, but they're nice. They work really well. They've got good friction on them, so there's absolutely nothing wrong with them, and I think they look nice. Let's give them a little squidge on there, if you can see those. Where is Bongo Boy when you need him? So yeah, nice tuners, really nice tuners actually. Unbranded but nice. Strings, they're D'Addario titanium strings. They're nice. I am going to say I had to change a string because one of the strings broke. And before it broke, the intonation was slightly out. It might have just been a dodgy string. It wasn't worth contacting them and saying similar. So I changed the strings. I've got a very similar string on there. Intonation is now perfect with it. It's great. So yeah, I think it was just a slightly dodgy string. The setup's really nice. It's fairly low, but it's not too low. So setup's nice. It's very easy to play. Very easy to do some bar chords on there. It has a binding down the side of the fingerboard, which means there's no sharp frets on there. It's all lovely and smooth. We have these finger markers, which are, I don't know what they are. They're almost like birds, but they're not. Again, let's see if We can pick them up on here. Bongo boy, bongo boy, bongo boy. If not, I will put some B-roll of those up. But yes, little shapes that are set in. They're really nice as well. There's nothing wrong with the finishing there. We've got quite a lot of abalone. Now, I quite like abalone, but I do find this it's quite a lot around the edge. But it's just down to your personal taste, isn't it? I guess it's quite nice that these are surrounding the sound holes there. There's no abalone on the side. There's also this white sort of purfling around the edge with ebony as well, which I think that's a really nice sort of looking part of it. I really like that. The wood grain shown through on the back. The wood grain on the back's almost slightly nicer than the wood grain on the front. Is it? I don't know. Again, personal taste. It's maybe just coming through a little bit more on the back. There's a few sort of dark patches, which is really nice. I like those. So, slotted headstock. Lots of ukes have slotted headstocks nowadays. You get a few extras with this. You get a gig bag, which is a branded gig bag. You get, wherever I put it, I'll put it somewhere. You get a cleaning cloth, some extra strings, a tuner, all the normal bits, a strap, I believe you get as well. So the normal things that kind of get chucked in with ukuleles, you get. So as I said, this is made in China. Which makes pricing quite hard for us in the UK, really. So the price on their website is in US dollars, and it's $287 US. Now, on today's conversion, as we stand today, that's around about £229. However, there's potentially going to be some kind of import tax and things on that. So it doesn't make it a super cheap ukulele. Now, I don't have too much of a problem with that, because I think it's different. I think if you like the looks of this, and if you like the sound, we heard a little bit of the sound at the beginning, but I will play a little bit more for you. But if you like the looks and you like the sound of it, don't worry too much about whether it's solid or laminate. In this kind of price range, you can get some cheap all-solid ukuleles that sound like a bag of potatoes. I don't know what a bag of potatoes would sound like. Or you can get some really nice all-laminate ukuleles that sound absolutely amazing. And, don't get hung up on whether it's solid or laminate. It's a solid top, laminate sides, but don't get hung up on it. I think the price is whether you like the look and the style of the instrument. If you want to play something that's a little bit different. And the finishing, I've got to say, the finishing on this, I think, is exceptionally good. I cannot find anything wrong with it at all. It's finished so nicely. All the edges, the inside is so tidy and looks like it's been well put together. The neck, the frets, and the friction on the tuning pegs, the setup of it. So, because I have heard sort of people say that, I think it's too pricey for this. And yes, there are alternatives. There are things like the new colour series. For a tenor model, it's not that far off this price. Depends on whether you can get them in this country or not. But, if you're elsewhere, there might be distribution for these. I think that's the issue, is that there's no UK distributor for this. Perhaps that's going to come. Who knows? It's a nice ukulele that's a little bit different from the norm. Sound-wise, quite a lot to stay. It's got a lot of volume. I was playing quite quietly there. I mean, I can really hear that ringing in this room. Intonation's good. I rather quite like the sound of this. It's bright. There is a little bit of bass end in there. It's not too bassy. When I say it's not too bassy, I don't mean that it could be a bit more bassy. It could have more bass to it. I think it would be a slightly nicer sound, just a bit rounder. But I think you have different ukuleles to sound different from each other, and this has quite a distinctive sound. It's not a generic-y sort of ukulele sound. One thing that I found on it, sort of picking lines and vibrato and things like that is really easy on this, and it really, you do hear that vibrato quite strongly. Very easy to play, I think, because the setup of it is really, really good. It's I'm finding it quite hard to fault it, and I kind of, I wanted to do a very open and honest review with this because it isn't one that we paid for ourselves, and I am doing a very open and honest review because I'm struggling. I like to give pros and cons. I'm struggling to find too many cons on this. I like the styling of it. I like the bridge. The look is maybe not 100% for me, but again, if you want something really different, then go for it. I would struggle not to put the nose on there, and maybe little rosy cheeks or something. But if the look is for you, then I'm struggling, because the spec-wise, it's really good. The build's really good. The only thing that I think stands against it, and which I've seen in other reviews stand against it, is if you're too hung up on the fact that it's laminate or not all solid. But I would argue, if you're paying £200 to £300, let's say, with import tax, depends, or if you can get one off Amazon or in this country, I don't know. But if you're paying that sort of price, I don't think you'd be getting the best solid ukulele out there. So I think it is quite comparable with some of the snails and things like that at that price. I can't question the build quality. I can't question the sound. I like quite mellow sounding ukuleles. This isn't one of them. But I tell you what, if you were playing in a ukulele group, this would really cut through. We've got a Pono that we've been playing recently in the Anarchy in the Ukulele band, and it's lovely. It's an absolutely beautiful instrument. We bought it for a review. We should be selling it on now and getting rid of it, but I can't part with it at the minute because it's really nice to play. But it's incredibly mellow, and when we're playing with the band, it doesn't cut through. And I'm literally, I broke a string on it because I was absolutely hammering it too much to at a gig, and then very shortly after the string broke. It's to make it cut through. This would cut. This would undoubtedly cut through in your ukulele group, which is a good thing because you want to be able to hear yourself. Plus, you've got this sound port at the side, which, even though it's not right in your face, you're still getting plenty of sound out of it. The volume's great. The brightness would really cut through. You don't want everybody to have a mellow sounding ukulele if you've got a big group of you playing. So from that point of view, I think a great group instrument. You're really going to hear. You're going to be out if you're doing solo lines. You're really going to be able to dig in and cut those through. So I think from that point of view, it's an exceptionally good instrument. Solo playing. You can play it quite quietly and there's still volume to it. That doesn't mean it hasn't got dynamic range, because it has. You just have to work. You have to work a little bit harder to get it quiet. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. It has got dynamic range, but certainly you can noodle on it. That intonation on that string's going a little bit now. That's just because it's a new string. Yeah, Mr Mai, Mr Mai, Mr Mai. I think it's pretty good. I think it's up there with similar priced, certainly anything from around about £150 to £300. I think it sits in that range. So I think, yes, you can get cheaper instruments that you might like as much, but it won't look like this. It may not even be built to this standard, because the standard is really, really high, the build quality. So you may get a £150 instrument that can do what this can do, and you're perfectly happy with it, and that's great. If you want something that looks a little bit different, and you want to turn up your ukulele group, and everyone says, "Oh, you've got more sound holes than me. You must be good. You can play with 3 sound holes. Amazing." Then this might be for you, because it is a nice instrument that plays nicely. Setup from Mr Mai has been really good. Delivery was really quick from Mr Mai when he said they were going to send it to us. Literally, it arrived to us from China quicker than stuff that we sometimes post in this country to each other, which I found was crazy. And it was fully tracked and accurate, down to, this will be delivered at 11:59 tomorrow, and it was. Possibly even at 11:59, I don't know. Or certainly, within an hour time slot. So, yeah, a really nice instrument. I think that's a bit different. You're not going to find it in the UK shops, I don't believe. The company itself seem really nice, really willing to listen and to, talk about their product. So I think if you did have a problem buying it online, they would be there to help you out. So yeah, from that point of view, it's different. Just very quickly then, so things I do like about it, I like how resonant it is. It really is resonant. That's what makes the tone. That's what makes it cut through. I think its lack of bass is perhaps because of the 3 sound ports. So you're getting overridden with mid frequency and a little bit of top frequency coming out the sound ports rather than bass frequency. That's possibly what that is. I like the position markers. I think they're nice. A little bit too much abalone for me, maybe, but that's just my personal taste. Tuners are great. Headstock is good. Mr Mai logo. I don't know. I don't really go into whether I like logos or not on instruments. I guess there's some I like more than others. Ultimately, it's a logo, and again, I don't think you should get hung up about it. People get hung up about, if they're playing a ukulele, that they don't want people to see this. I've seen people cover them up or sand them off and all sorts of things. I think it's quite nice. I think it's different. It's a little bit sort of childlike, but then some would say an Anarchy is very childlike. And, they're incredibly popular with adult players as well. So, again, personal taste. I don't mind it. It's kind of set in wood. I think that's actually quite nice. The way that it's the wood set in the lighter wood set in the ebony actually looks really good. It's not a sticker. It's actually set in the wood. And I think the actual quality of that is really, really, really good. Which is all I can say for the instrument as a whole. Quality is exceptionally good on the build for an instrument from the Far East. I don't think you can complain about that at all. Setup's great, sounds great. I'm repeating myself over and over again, probably because I'm very tired. A good ukulele, this one. Their website's very good. The website's all in English as well, or certainly the English version of it. There's lots of detail on there. So maybe, go and have a look. They've got some lovely looking models as well, some other models that go, there's some less in price than this, and there's some that go up to around about the $650 mark. which I think they would be quite interesting instruments to see. You know, they come with hard cases, and so I'd be quite interested in doing a little review on one of those. But yeah, so a nice ukulele, nicely put together, looks like a face. If you like what we do, then please like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Very tired. I'm really tired. Abby's had a baby. Bongo Boy's not here. Who knows what Paul's doing? Where even is Paul? He's sat at home sending us videos every now and again. We don't know what he's sending, but they're quite good, aren't they? I enjoyed his Can't Help Falling in Love video. So if you haven't watched that, watch that here. That's a really cool one. He sent a tutorial the other day for one of his own songs, so that's coming out soon. We're going to give you that. Why not? I mean, that's a bit of self-promotion for him, but hey-ho. So, yeah, I'm on my own. I'm very tired. Good ukulele. I like it. I like it a lot. And I'll play something out, I think.